Good afternoon and welcome to the marketplace. Coming up, some oil marketing firms increase prices of petroleum products at the pumps, with petrol selling at 15 cedis 29 pesos, while diesel is going for 15 cedis 77 pesos. Also, Chief Executive of the defunct UT Bank, Prince Kofi Amwabin, to push for restoration of banking license as he questions the approach adopted in shutting down the institution.
Of some banks that were wrongfully closed down, or the process wasn't right, giving them back their licenses. It's not straightforward, easy like that. So I don't want to jump the gun. Let's see what his team will offer.
On the Joy Business Advisory Series today, we'll explore how businesses can sustain their operations amidst uncertainties as the city struggles against major trading currencies. These and more coming up on today's edition of The Marketplace. Let's bring you updates on how the Ghana cedi is faring against major global currencies. Welcome back. Now let's get to the details. Some oil marketing companies have started increasing prices of the petroleum products at the pumps. George Biafet joins us here in studio to give us more details on what is currently happening on the market. George, it's good to have you.
Thank you so much.
Great. Can you take us through the background of what is actually happening?
So I know that you want to get it very soon as to what the prices are selling now, so whether you want to fill your tanks now or even going later. But let's just get some quick background on why we are here. If you track back to maybe somewhere in November and December, prices of petroleum products have increased about 4 times if you look at from November to December. Now, basically, what are the factors that are increasing the price of petroleum products? It's basically the cedi, the price of crude oil, the cost of freight and cutting these petroleum products from Rotterdam to Accra here. So if you go through the slides, you can see about 4 times. And now if you look at the fact that at that time, the Ghana cedi was selling about 14 Ghana cedis, 50 pesos and 14 Ghana cedis. These were the rates. Now, currently, if you look at the bank rates, we're looking somewhere around 14 Ghana cedis, 95 pesos. So if you're using the cedi as the main reason or for the benchmark for influencing the price, that has gone up. You look at the prices of crude oil as well, somewhere like a month ago, we were looking at it around $71 a barrel. Now it shot up to more than 80. This morning was doing $81 a barrel. Now the price of finished product also is a factor here. The cost of freight, as I said, the cedi, and also when you look at the fact that according to the full price deregulation policy, every 2 weeks prices should be reviewed. So this is the background in terms of what has happened, why we are here, and the factors that influence the price of the commodity.
So what are we expecting, hopefully, in the next, today, basically? What are the differences?
So before the adjustment this morning, what we picked up per the projections was that diesel should be going up by about 1%, and then petrol will be doing about 2.3%. LPG will witness the highest hike of going up by about 5% per kilogram. So let's again look at per these projections, what would have been the price? If petrol price was going for somewhere around $14.99, that is 2 weeks ago, we should be looking at somewhere around 15 Ghana cedis, 33 pesos, and also if it was going around 15 cedis, 60 pesos some 2 weeks ago, that should have been the price based on our analysis.
So
Now,
some will say the price was a bit marginal, but we see 20 pesos jump for just diesel from 15 to 60 to 15 to 80.
yes, because we were looking at the main indicators that should guide the review. But when you look at some of the oil marketing companies, they look at other things in making those adjustments. Now, if you look at what has happened when it comes to Guelph, for instance, if you look at the price of petroleum product, or that is petrol, today is being sold at 15 Ghana cedis, 29 pesos. That of diesel is going for 15 Ghana cedis, 77 pesos. If you come to Shell, a liter of that is petrol is going for 15 Ghana cedis, 59 pesos, and also that of diesel is going up, or it is selling today at 15 Ghana cedis, 79 pesos. If you track the increment in currency terms, some have gone up by more than a cedi, and that is very, very essential. And again, if you engage some of these oil marketing companies, they will tell you that the main driver of this adjustment was actually the current pressure on the Ghana cedi, and also the fact that prices of crude oil has gone up. Now, the good news I have for you is that, or if you see that bad news, is that per their projections and extrapolations going forward, you should be expecting more increases in the price of petroleum product because of what is happening to the cedi right now, what happens in the first quarter. And if you look at the prices of crude, it doesn't look like
that doesn't sound like a good news.
Well, you can weigh it as a good news or a bad one then.
All right, thank you so much, George, for bringing us this particular update. I'm sure individuals who drive their roads consistently look at the price of fuel, and usually they have specific places they buy their fuel. Now, George Biafia is bringing us this update, and we appreciate your time here on the marketplace. Now, moving on, the chief executive of the defunct UT Bank, Prince Kofi Amoaben, has revealed that he may push for restoration of his banking license from the John Mahama government. President, prior to his election, pledged to restore licenses of indigenous banks that were wrongfully closed by the Bank of Ghana. Speaking on PM Express Business Edition, Captain Amoaben said a decision will be dependent on the offer the government will present at the final stage.
The president, that is the current president,
John Mahama,
did make statement about giving the license of some banks that were wrongfully closed down, or the process wasn't right, giving them back their licenses. It's not straightforward, easy like that. So I don't want to jump the gun. Let's see what his team will offer, and then we'll discuss it. It has to be legal, it has to appeal to Ghanaians, and he's made a promise, and we'll see what happens.
He's the president. He has made that call.
Yeah.
Is it something? I get one breath of this interview that, George, I want to move on. That's why I'm asking that. Is this something that you subscribe to, or let's move on, George, or you will welcome it as long as the details can be fine-tuned?
Well, UT is not just me, you know, so with me, I'm 72, I'll be 73 next month. Really, I don't even want to wake up in the morning, every morning, and dress up and go and be building a bank. If anything, it's a matter of getting the right team to probably make it materialize. So UT is not just me. Therefore, I can't say, well, I don't care about it and so forth. There are other interested parties and stakeholders. So let's see what the new government proposes and the way they want to go about it. And if it comes...
If they make that offer to you, you're going to accept it, engaging your shareholders or the other partners who, when you say, Captain, even if you don't have time, we had a case to meet.
And therefore put in the right team. And so it all depends on the actions that the government will take.
Over the years, a lot of businesses have been complaining about high cost of imports, and basically that has been their challenges for quite some time now. Today on the Joy Business Advisory Series, we'll be delving deeper. So stay tuned. After this short commercial break, we'll delve deeper into that conversation. Welcome back to the Joy Marketplace and today's edition of the Joy Business Advisory Series. As the currency struggles to stay afloat against the dollar and other major trading currencies, proper purchasing planning has become imperative for companies that depend on foreign supplies. An effective foreign exchange management system and ease of clearing goods at the port will be crucial in navigating this path, but how can businesses do this constructively in a period full of uncertainties? Joining me here, Joachim Owusu-Efriye is a senior manager for tax and regulatory at the Deloitte, who joins me here on today's edition of Joy Business Advisory Series to unpack the opportunities available for businesses. It's good to have you here today, Joachim. How is it going?
So far, so good. It's been calm within the week.
Awesome.
Maybe the new president bringing some calmness into the market. So we expect things to be positive.
Exactly. Like we said, we have measured expectations going forward. All right, let's go straight to the conversation. When we talk about the import structure, can you enlighten us before we delve deeper into the component of what goes into importation?
Right. So basically, if you're a business or an individual in Ghana and you want to import, you definitely want to look at your procurement needs, what you want to import, where you can get it. Is it that you want to get it from a different country, then you go through what we call the importing process. You need to order, and the goods need to be cleared from the port from the exporting country. When the goods gets here, it goes through Ghanaian ports. It can be through the air, the airport, or the sea, go to the various ports. And then you need to go through what we call custom declaration processes. Basically, declaring your goods to customs that this is what I brought in. What are the duties and taxes I need to pay on it? When those duties and taxes are paid, you go through final verifications. And then if those goods are permissible to be imported into the country, you are allowed to move the goods back to your warehouse or whichever final location that you have it. So basically, that is the structure.
Great. When the conversation has consistently been about the over 23 taxes on importation of a particular product, and that has been a key challenge for a lot of businesses. But before we delve into that, can you take us through the various components of importation?
Right. So overall, when you're assessing your import costs,
yes,
basically we say we have two components of import costs. We have the sourcing costs, that's how much the product will cost you in the exporting country. Supplier costs. That may include your freight charges. You need to transport the goods to Ghana. It will also include insurance as well. That's one part. The second part is what we call landed costs. When the goods get to our ports or exit entries, all costs you need to incur to get the goods to your warehouse is what we call landed costs. And that includes import duties and taxes, which we say is a significant part of your landed costs. In Ghana, as you rightly mentioned, we have about not less than 19 different tax lines on imports. And it can be significant overall, put it together, it could range from between 50 to 65% of the value of goods you are importing. So that is very significant. And then at the port as well, handling costs, Ghana Port and Harbour Authority charges as well will come in. You need to pay the shipping lines as well. Your agent, our import structure is said that you need to work through a custom house agent. And they also charge you as well. And another thing, we have what we call non-compliance fees. For example, in Ghana, when you bring your goods, you have 7 free days to clear your goods. If you work within that 3 days, you don't pay additional fees. If it exceeds that, what we call warehousing rent. It's like the state is keeping your goods for you and you pay rent for that. That also increases your costs.
This is insightful. Why is it to effectively manage their import cost?
I think I'll give 2 reasons. The first one is competition. The products, basically we sell homogeneous products, just go to the markets. It's like we are all selling the same products. So competition is key, and pricing is a factor. Why I'll buy from shop A and not shop B may be greatly influenced by the price. And of course, we want to look at your profitability as well, because sometimes it's difficult to increase prices. So if you don't manage your costs, then that eats into your profitability. So 2 key things you need to keep note to manage your costs.
Great. When you go to a particular shop, you go and buy a product. Today, it was basically 100 Ghana cedis. The next day, you get to the same shop and they tell you, the trader will tell you specifically that haven't you checked the Forex Bureau? The cedi has gone up. Therefore, they have also added it. How can a business manage the uncertainty of the cedi as against their operations as a business, also knowing how unpredictable it is to import products into Ghana?
Okay, so the forex is a significant component
Yes.
in the duty assessment. Import duties are assessed in Ghana cedis. But because we are bringing the goods from a foreign country, it comes with a foreign currency. So if it is USD, then it has to be converted to Ghana cedi for the duty assessment. Now, at what rate will it be converted to is a big question. Largely for businesses, and if you look at our ports, the forex is changed every Tuesday. And as a business, if you really want to plan around your forex, Ghana, we have what we call pre-manifest declaration. What that simply means is that before your cargo arrives in Ghana, you can walk to customs and make a declaration that I'm expecting this cargo in 3 months' time, but I want to pay the duties upfront. Of course, this is based on your projections, listening to financial reports, read financial reports. You know how the cedi will behave in the next 3 months. And you will think that you'll be worse off in the next 3 months. You can do the declarations now and lock up the cedi. Once you do that, you can make some savings on the forex as well.
That is quite insightful. Now, many businesses are of the view that they don't have this particular insight, and therefore becomes quite challenging going into the operations. How effective is it?
So that is very effective because it's not something we can avoid. Once we are exporting from a foreign country, we definitely need to know how to manage the currency. And also, it is not really in the control of the importer. Government may come in with policy. Maybe government can come and say, okay, we want to fix the cedi for a particular period of time. I know something was done for the petroleum sector players where the forex was fixed for them, so the fluctuation did not really affect them. They are very certain that when I import, the cedi will be pegged at its rate compared to the foreign currency. So government can come in with a policy for other businesses as well, depending on how the cedi behaves, so that businesses can plan.
Yeah, you mentioned in your initial submission about 7 days with which you can go and take out your goods, and within that 7 days, you will not be having any extra charges. I think that's kind of an incentive. Which other incentives are available for businesses?
So businesses we have what we call suspension regimes in the customs space. It simply means that you can import your goods without paying the duties upfront. So you can put your goods in what we call a customs bonded warehouse. Keep your goods, you don't have money to pay the duties. You are allowed to now sell the goods and then get the money to pay the duties. That kind of helps companies with their cash flow management. And also helps you to avoid demorages, because if you are unable to pay the duties, you won't be allowed to clear it. So you can go under this regime and ensure that you are safe from all these additional charges that may come in. Also, we also have what we call duty drawback.
Okay, that's
duty drawback is another area that you can consider.
All right.
It's basically like a refund.
Okay.
If you are imported goods that you think you are re-exporting, you didn't use in the country, we have a window that you can go back and then request for refund for the duties.
Interesting. As a small business, how can I optimize my import cost to ensure I stay within the range of profitability and sustenance of my business?
So if you take the import line, the taxes that are charged at the port, we mentioned between 19 to 23%, depending on it. The key factor that determines your input, what we call the HS. Each product is assigned an HS code. The HS code determines what rate of duty should be assigned to the product. And sometimes there's a thin line between the same product being classified and the rate HS code that has a rate of 5% or 20%. So you should be interested in how your goods are classified, so that if the goods really can be under 5%, it is classified under 5% and not 20%. Again, in I think last 2 years, government introduced what we call upfront VAT, where you pay 12.5% upfront of VAT because businesses were not registering for VAT. It has kind of become a fixed charge for some businesses. So if you want to make savings, you want to go to GRA, you register for VAT, you present your certificate to customs, and they waive that taxes for you. There's also what we call 1% IRS deposit, kind of withholding tax. just get tax clearance certificate, present, and that will be waived. And one big thing that we also have to consider is that we also have what we call special import levy. That is 2%. The law that supports that has elapsed since last year, and that has not been renewed. So we don't know the government, we don't really know the government policy now, but I know that in the manifesto.
But how easily accessible are those opportunities, especially going as a business and you have to, you don't have information such as the ones you're delivering now? Are they accessible?
They are very much accessible.
Can you just work to GRA or any other institution?
Just work with GRA. So we just have to pre-tax compliance. Just be compliant with your domestic taxes. If you are compliant, it's easy for you to get tax clearance certificates. Very easy. Just work to your tax office. Even if you have taxes that you owe, you can make an arrangement and they can give you that tax clearance certificate.
There's been instances where you hear conversations or narratives that suggest that somebody's goods have been seized. What pitfalls should somebody who is into claiming of their goods consider before going into such businesses?
So, seized goods can be because it is a prohibited cargo. You are not allowed to bring such goods into the country. So, if you are going to a business, the first thing you must check is that the goods are legally allowed to be imported into the country. That's first thing. Then the second thing is that just ensure you get your finances right. Get money before you start the importation process. Because most of times, businesses are unable to get the money to pay the duties. And because of that, they incur a lot of demurrages, which sometimes may far exceed even the cost of the product. So sometimes it does not make economic sense for you to now go and pay and get the goods which you sell at a loss. So if there are two advice I'll give to businesses, check whether the goods are permissible and legally required to be imported into Ghana, and work on your finances. If you have internal resources or you don't have, get experts to advise you on your classifications.
Many are of the view that now, over the years, we've seen car costs increasing year by year, and therefore importing used cars was then a kind of a business. However, many have seen an incremental price in that. In London, what do you think are some of the key factors, apart from the CD and currency fluctuation and all that?
So, used cars, usually, how much is auction outside is very, very cheap. But in our duty assessment, we have what we call the home delivery value.
Yes. Basically
means that the duty will be assessed as if you bought a brand new vehicle.
All right.
So that is why you can import a vehicle. You bought it $5,000,
okay,
but the duty can be very significant.
Amazing. Joachim, we really want to have more time to have this conversation. We really appreciate your time here on the Joy Business Advisory series, where we discuss the whole importation business and assessing and accelerating your business if you are into any kind of import-driven activity. Joachim Owusu-Afriyie is a Senior Manager of Tax and Regulatory at Deloitte, who joined me here for today's edition. Thank you so much. My name is Winston Taki. We have more business updates on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Winston Taki. Have a good business day. Bye-bye.